meeting to order. Good evening. This is the Falmouth Planning Board, and let me introduce you to the people here. John, would you introduce yourself?
John Drudley.
Bob Leary.
Jim Fox?
Charlotte Harris,
Pat Kerfoot.
Paul Dreyer.
and a couple of missing people. Pam Harding Barrett is not with us tonight. She's not well. And our town planner, Jed Cornock, is sick tonight, and we are managing on our own. And this is the first for us, so bear with us. Okay,
She forgot to say, so have mercy on us.
that's like bear with us. So, first up, we have public comment, and if you wish to comment on something that's not on the agenda, now would be the time to do it. And if you do wish to speak, each time you wish to speak, you need to go to that microphone, because that microphone connects us to FCTV. It's so that people at home can hear you also. It's not really, completely just for use as a microphone in the room. We'll try to hold our voices up so that you can hear us. And please remember, when you go to the microphone, introduce yourself and use the mic to speak each and every time you speak. Okay, minutes, Paul.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I recommend approval of the minutes of July 9th, 2024, as written.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Thank you, Paul. Okay, first up, we have a request for release of bond. Who is here to speak for that? Mr. Nickerson, is that you?
No, I think we just have a decision on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know, the contractor, is he really trustworthy? Can we really trust this guy?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do-
I don't know.
I mean, Jed, in his review,
Said it's okay.
said it's okay.
He does say that it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
On
so
July
can I
17th.
move that we release the bond, or do you want to read?
No, just release it, let's,
I'm going to recuse myself from this
Yeah.
one.
Okay, you're recusing yourself?
Yeah, but
We
does he have
have-
to get up and move out of here? or
No.
what?
No, he
Since
does
We're
not.
just going to take a vote.
We have everything to support the request, and it's the opinion of the town planner and this board that we can officially release the bond.
Okay, so I move that the board vote to release the $111,820.54 bond to
Second.
Dylan's Way.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
The bond's released. Okay, approval not required. We've got a few of them here tonight. The first one is, the applicant is David Henderson. Plan of land to combine two lots into one at 147 Clinton Avenue and 0 Gerard Avenue. And it would appear that this meets all the requirements. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on this A&R tonight? No. The plan does meet all of the requirements, and therefore we're going to endorse the plan. Pat?
Unless the board has any questions.
We usually have a plan, and because no one can put it up, is it one of these? We usually look at something before we,
Well, you got it in your book.
okay, so we, all right. So we don't have it for tonight, then.
We do not.
No one at home
Just to
can
look-
see what we're doing, okay, that's fine.
No, we'll just let it go. If we have a question and we want to look at the plans on the,
Okay.
we
All
need to go
set.
to the town website and find it on the agenda, which we could do, but for this, I don't think there's particularly a
No,
requirement
it's
for
right
it.
here.
Pat,
I'm just thinking we can't pull it up.
you gonna make a motion?
Yeah, I can. Lost my place in here. Oh, that's the one, okay. Okay, so I move that the board endorse the plan as presented to us without regard to buildability or compliance with zoning.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and we have just endorsed
Threw me off.
David Henderson's plan of land to combine two lots into one near Clinton Ave. Next, another A&R. The applicant is Thomas Figueredo. I think I've mispronounced that. A perimeter plan showing one
He's got
lot.
his hand up.
This is
Figueredo.
you? Thank you. How do you say that?
Figurito.
Figueredo, okay, thank you. Showing one lot located at 0 Bagel Lane. And according to what we have and everything that we've been given, the lot meets all of the requirements for approval. It shows a one lot with requisite frontage of 100 feet on it. No, it's fine. So do we have a motion to endorse?
I move that the board endorse the plan as presented without regard to buildability or compliance with zoning.
Second?
All in favor?
All right,
Next. Now we have the applicant, you're welcome, thank you. Latitude 41 North LLC is the applicant, plan of land to combine two lots into one at 29 Oakwood Avenue and 0 Oakwood Avenue. And there are, in fact, questions about this. So are you here to speak on this?
I'm here to answer questions,
Madam Chair.
Madam Chairperson.
I wish to recuse myself. I'm the direct abutter.
Okay, thank you. Just give him a minute to leave the room. Mike, you want us to be able to see the plan?
I can put it up on the screen if you give me a minute to load it. I thought you folks would have that tonight. Doesn't look like your system's working. Looks like it might be.
I think it was expected that we would go to the town website and the agenda, and you can click on this item on the agenda, and it will come up, so we've been told.
he's got it.
Put me on the spot.
Coming.
Okay, for the record, Mike Borselli, Falmouth Engineering, and I represent the applicant Latitude 41 North LLC. We filed a request for approval not required to eliminate a lot line between Lot 1A and Lot 5A, and that line is represented by a dashed line. My client owns Lot 1A, and he intends to merge this landlocked lot with his lot so that he has additional real estate that he could do other development on, such as a garage. So I had an email exchange with your planner where he informed me that he was recommending endorsement of the plan with a standard note to be added.
He has asked for a note to be added to it, but I have a question.
Yes.
Where is the frontage?
The frontage is,
If it's on Oakwood Avenue, where,
12 feet.
there's a common driveway shared by all three lots through here, but this lot is a pre-existing lot
Non-conforming, it's been there a while.
with frontage.
It wouldn't
and-
be conforming now, but that's pre-existing.
And there's an existing dwelling on it, and this lot's landlocked, and this back lot containing 9,500 square feet is to be merged with Lot A1.
So it doesn't create a new buildable lot, it creates
No.
a bigger non-conforming lot.
We've
Well, I
already
see that
met,
the lot received an A&R endorsement in 2009
yes,
and added a note indicating that the structures predated the subdivision control law in Falmouth.
yes, that's why it was endorsed at that time, because the structures predated the zoning in Falmouth at the time that they were constructed. That's what allowed these lots to be created.
And have you added the note that was requested?
No, because I got the email this afternoon or midday, so I think you can make a motion to approve it with a condition, and then I'll bring the Mylar over with the note on the plan tomorrow or the day after.
We could do that, or we could just create an extension.
I think that's an inefficient use of your time and not necessary.
Do you have questions, Pat?
I do, because the access easement, Paul communicated to me today that that's actually got a gate across it or a fence across it, and that's not a functional easement. I'm not quibbling at that if it's not a functional easement, because you've also then testified now that there is a driveway that comes in that serves all three houses. But that's not indicated on the plan, and we've got a non-functional easement on the plan.
Well, if you've been to the property, you can, it's very obvious that the only access by vehicles, and it's been used for decades, is through a common driveway through here. We typically don't show physical features like driveways on a lot for this purpose, but I can tell you that the neighbors are all,
Can you pop into Matt Geo and just show them? I'm familiar with it because these properties are bought and sold, and I've walked the site several times.
You have?
I know
okay.
it really well, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not questioning you. I just,
No, I'm just
I
puzzled.
don't mean to speak like I know more, but I really am familiar with that lot.
you're really asking me to use your system?
Did you go up and do it?
I can do, he's got it. I just click and shoot, but there it is. That makes it a little more sense
You see the gray?
to the driveway.
Yeah, okay.
I can put an aerial
you can
photo
see
on
that.
this if you
Yeah,
want
you
to
can
see
do the aerial. That would even be
photo.
better. There you go.
See the cars, you can see the driveway, you can see cars packed here. You can see this is not being used, this easement. It's not practical. This is the access. So you have frontage and access to that lot, and this back lot, which is landlocked, will be merged. That's the intent of the plan. We've also met with Gary Street to talk about whether we can build an accessory structure, which would be a detached garage back here if the lots merge.
You hear that? I could tell that they're gonna put a garage with an apartment above it, as an accessory, probably in the future. Right now, they're just asking for the A&R, but obviously they have some
Yeah,
plans
right
for
now-
development, which they should. I'm not
Yeah, that-
criticizing, I'm
There's no secret.
No,
We-
it's
we
just
wanna
think
be
it's
able
the right thing
build
to
a-
do.
The ADU is in question.
I know, but I wanted
But the
them to
garage,
understand.
the garage is a
A
plan.
plan can be done, right.
He's not sure if he's gonna do the ADU.
ADU is a special permit because it would be detached.
Correct.
Okay, so the garage is going to be for the house on lot
Again,
1A.
he's not asking for the garage right now.
I
Okay,
understand.
all
I'm
right,
just trying
sorry.
to understand.
I
I
mixed
do
the
that
garage
kind of
in, I was
thing.
trying to straighten
The
it out.
garage is going to be for the lot that has the house that will be merged.
Thank you.
Yes.
I like to have a full understanding of what we're
Yeah,
looking at,
absolutely.
even if it's an A&R.
I'm glad I could
Do we have an existing?
give it to you.
Not on.
I wasn't expecting to have to use your system, but I figured it out, so that was good.
Is it the same plan?
Okay, now that we understand it,
Yeah.
let's go forward.
Yeah.
Can we endorse
No,
this
no, no, wait,
with
wait, wait,
the
wait.
addition of the note?
Bob has,
Maybe this is older, has
Yeah.
it torn down?
Yeah,
The same property owner?
yeah. There's no other building on that back section right now, because on.
No,
one-
there used to be a house years
Okay.
ago that
He's
burned
got a-
down.
Yeah, he's got a picture of the
Okay,
house.
I've got it on.
It caught on fire 10 years ago
Yeah,
and burned to the
okay.
ground.
Bob, you're all set?
Yeah, yeah. No,
Okay,
it's just
Pat?
conflicting.
I saw
okay,
that
now I
it
gotta
was
find myself
Payne's
here.
Registry, which means it's old.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and this is, we're asking that, for this to take place, that a notation be made on the Mylar.
Yes.
Endorsement under section 81L of Mass General Law, Chapter 41. The structures on the plan predate the adoption of the subdivision control law in the town of Falmouth. So, I would like to move that the board endorse the plan as amended, with the amendment, without regard to buildability or compliance with zoning.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Thank you.
And I'll hand deliver a Mylar for signature with that note as soon as possible.
Great, thank you.
Mike.
Thank you for letting me finish tonight, I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate the explanation as to what's
Sure.
going on, too.
Okay, our next applicant, Falmouth Economic Development Industrial Corp. Plan of land to divide the existing lot into two new lots at 64 Technology Park Drive. Jeff?
So, good evening. My name is Jeff Nickerson. I'm an attorney here in town. I represent the EDIC. This plan was previously considered. The board voted to endorse this plan in March of 2024. This is a land court parcel, and so when the plan went up to land court requested that some bounds be set. Those bounds are shown on this plan in blue. Those were set recently by Cape and Islands Engineering, which is the engineer on this project. They also included a couple of notes in the lower left, as required by Land Court, for some traverse and calculations matters, but this plan, as depicted, shows exactly the same two lots that were depicted on the plan that the board voted to endorse on March 26, 2024. So we would just ask that this be endorsed again and then sent up to Land Court for final approval.
And the bounds have been added.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep, we're all set. Okay, Pat,
And I assume the board has no questions about this.
any questions here? John, Bob?
No.
No?
Okay, I recommend that the board endorse the plan as presented without regard to buildability or compliance with zoning.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, planning board decision. This came before us before. Aidan Welsh. As requested, the staff has prepared a positive motion for the board's consideration, so Bob, if you could.
Wait a minute. Which one is it?
This is for Jenkins Pond, 128 Lakeshore Drive. Pat, you want to
Yeah,
do it?
Pat, why don't you take it?
Okay, I've got to put my eyes back on. Hang on a minute.
Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah. Go ahead.
You want to do it?
No,
Jim?
go ahead. go ahead.
Okay. I move that the planning board vote to approve the application of Aidan Welch for the the construction of an attached accessory apartment located at 128 Lakeshore Drive under section 240-12.2, site plan review of the zoning bylaw with the following. Findings. The applicant seeks to construct a 727 square foot, one-bedroom attached accessory apartment that will be 38% of the principal dwelling. Following all construction, the property will continue to have a total of 3 bedrooms, and in parentheses, a 2-bedroom principal dwelling and a 1-bedroom accessory apartment. The site plan shows an existing paved driveway which complies with section 240-9.1D1C and section 240-14.1E of the zoning bylaw respectively. The planning board finds that the information provided by the applicant conforms to all the requirements and findings pursuant to section 240-9.1 of the zoning bylaw. Conditions. The plan shall be constructed as approved, number 1. Number 2, no permit for full or partial occupancy shall be issued until the planning board is satisfied that the conditions of this approval and predecessor approvals have been met. 3, either the principal dwelling or accessory apartment must be owner-occupied for a period of 7 months in every calendar year. 4, either the principal dwelling or accessory apartment may be rented, but not both. 5, an affidavit shall be submitted annually to the building commissioner signed by the property owner. 6, construction activities shall not cause erosion to or sedimentation into the abutting properties in town right-of-way. Construction of this project shall follow the town's soil erosion and sediment control standard conditions document. 7, the project shall not direct any stormwater runoff to public property, abutters, or public rights-of-way. 8, the applicant shall contact the engineering division for an address assignment prior to issuance of an occupancy permit. 9, the applicant shall contact the assessor's office for an inspection prior to certificate of occupancy. And I'd like to let everybody know that I've read highlights. The full decision can be found in the planning office. We need a second.
Second?
Any discussion?
No?
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
You're all set. Did you get a copy of that?
We have not, no.
Would you like one?
Yes, please.
Here you go.
Thank you very much.
It's a nice souvenir.
Yeah, you can frame it and hang it on the wall.
Good plan. Next, Falmouth Service Center. Site plan review application to construct a 2-story addition to the existing building at 611 Gifford Street, which we heard and admired. And now we have a draft decision.
Okay, I'll take this.
Bob?
Draft July 19th, 2024, motion that the planning board votes to approve the application of Falmouth Service Center to construct an to the existing building located at 611 Gifford Street under Section 240, 12.2 Site Plan Review of the zoning bylaw. Findings. The applicant is proposing to construct a two-story, 2,519 square foot addition to the north side of the existing 9,207 square foot service center building. This addition will provide space for food distribution and other administrative services on the first floor and office space on the second floor. No changes will occur to the existing one-way traffic circulation and food distribution system currently in place. Following construction of the new addition, the site will have a total of 71 parking spaces, which exceeds the requirement of Section 240-14 of the zoning bylaw. The new addition will have dark sky compliant wall pack lighting, while the new parking area located on the east side of the property will have solar-powered LED lighted bollards for pedestrian safety. No other lighting changes are included in the application. The planning board finds that the information provided by the applicant conforms to all the requirements and findings pursuant to Section 240, 12.2 of the zoning bylaw. Waivers. Section 240, 12.2D, application requirements. Traffic, to waive the requirement that the applicant submit materials regarding the projected number of vehicles, trips, and traffic flow patterns. Section 240, 12.2D, application requirements. Lighting, to waiver the requirements that the applicant submit a lighting plan. Section 240, 14.3B, landscape plan required, to waive the requirement that the applicant submit a landscaping plan. Conditions, the plan shall be constructed as approved. Pursuant to Section 242.1C2 of the zoning bylaw, no permit for full or partial occupancy shall be issued until the planning board is satisfied that the conditions of this approval and predecessor approvals have been met. 2, construction of this project shall follow the town's soil erosion and sediment control standard conditions document. 3, the project shall meet all applicable standards set forth in the building code as determined by the building commissioner.
Second.
Board have any questions, any concerns, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
It's approved, thank you very much. Very nice project.
Now, I'm recused for the next one.
Okay. Site plan application to construct an attached accessory apartment at 44 Crooked Meadow Road. Mr. Clower.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. For the record, Kevin Clower, and we are here on a continuation tonight for 44 Crooked Meadow Road. It is about 1,000 degrees in here. I just want to point that out. It is very hot. That's approximate.
I think you're a little high on that.
So I'm here tonight. At the last hearing, there were some questions and some comments from the board and the abutters. So we revised the proposed site plan in order to address those concerns and questions. Specifically, the site plan has been amended to show erosion and sediment controls on the plan, as well as the addition of new dry wells. So there was one existing dry well for the main house. There's been 3 new dry wells added to the plan, which will tie into both the house and the proposed garage ADU. The driveway, as we've mentioned, will be replaced. The pavement will be removed and replaced with dry laid pavers, and would be very comfortable with the condition that any lighting on the garage or ADU be dark sky compliant as well. So those were sort of the 4 questions that came up at the last hearing. So we've added the dry wells, we've added the erosion sediment control. There's been some information submitted to the board showing that there was last summer actually a retaining wall put in, as well as 21 Leland cypresses, which have helped to address the erosion issues that the neighbor was experiencing. I know there was new correspondence from the abutter today, but I believe that with the changes to the plans that have been noted here and the steps that the homeowner has already taken, that those are addressed.
So you're saying that you did submit the revised site plan?
Yes.
Aha,
And that's what you're looking at right now, Ms. Harris.
oh,
It's in the packet.
okay, got it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was our only concern.
Yeah, it was the dry wells, dark sky compliant, which were open to as a condition, the erosion and sediment controls, and then the notation regarding the pavers.
Okay, good.
Just a quick question.
Go ahead.
Where are the Leland cypress?
So there's actually 21 Leland cypress
Okay.
that are,
No, in a couple of years, they won't see anything.
well, actually, it's amazing how much, this is when they went in
No.
last year, and this is what they look like today.
You know, they're remarkably fast-growing, but they also topple pretty readily in a windstorm. I know I've had some experience with them.
Well, they made it through this past year unscathed, so.
Yeah, once they get tall enough, but handsome in the meantime. Any further questions?
There was
Ron?
one other concern about using Blacksmith Shop Road for the construction purposes instead of Crooked Meadow. Could that be addressed by your client?
Yeah.
Good evening, Michael O'Connor, I am the builder. Blacksmith Shop Road, on the original plan, we had a detached accessory dwelling unit that proposed a new driveway on Blacksmith Shop. I was at the Department of Public Works Engineering, and they approved a driveway permit. I never ended up paying the bond because, with discussion with the town, we decided to change it from detached to an attached garage. So there is no current plan to have a driveway there. I have a boat trailer, it's backed up to that driveway. When I brought the material in to fill in the area, we did utilize that location because that was the safest way to get the fill into the backyard. But we can no longer use access to that driveway, or I will go get a permit to utilize that driveway on Blacksmith Shop Road.
The preference is to come in off of Crooked Meadow, which appears like they can do that. And would
Yeah,
you
we use
be
Crooked
willing
Meadow
to
for
be-
pretty much everything.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. If we're comfortable with this, we could ask for a positive decision for our next meeting.
I'm fine with it.
Okay, we have a draft.
We have one now.
We have a
We have the
draft
draft
motion
now?
now. Yeah,
Yes, we do.
Let's go with it.
okay. Draft July 19th, 2024. Motion that the planning board votes to approve the application of Michael O'Connor for the construction of an attached accessory apartment located at 44 Crooked Meadow Road under section 240, 12.2, site plan review of the zoning bylaw. Findings: the applicant seeks to construct an 800-square-foot, one-bedroom attached accessory apartment that will be 40% of the principal dwelling. Following all construction, the property will remain having a total of 4 bedrooms, a 3-bedroom principal dwelling, and a 1-bedroom accessory apartment. One of the 4 bedrooms in the main dwelling will be converted into an office with a 4-foot case door opening in order to comply with section 249.1C9. The site plan indicates that the applicant is proposing to remove the existing paved driveway and replace it with a dry-laid pavement, which will bring the property into compliance with the lot coverage restrictions of the Water Resource Protection Overlay District. The application also includes the addition of dark sky compliant lighting on the exterior of the proposed accessory apartment and a landscaping buffer to address issues raised by the abutting property owner. The planning board finds that the information provided by the applicant conforms to all the requirements and findings pursuant to section 249.1 of the zoning bylaw. Conditions: the plan shall be constructed as approved. 2, no permit for full or partial occupancy shall be issued until the planning board is satisfied that the conditions of this approval and predecessor approvals have been met. 3, either the principal dwelling or the accessory apartment must be owner occupied for a period of 7 months in every calendar year. 4, either the principal dwelling or accessory apartment may be rented, but not both. 5, an affidavit shall be submitted annually to the building commissioner signed by the property owner. 6, construction activities shall not cause erosion to or sedimentation into the abutting properties and town right-of-way. Construction of this project shall follow the town soil erosion sediment control standard condition document. 7, the project shall not direct any stormwater runoff to public property, abutters, or public rights-of-way. 8, the applicant shall install a dry well, rain garden, or other stormwater infiltration measure for the new roof area. 9, the applicant shall contact the engineering division for an address assignment prior to issuance of an occupancy permit. 10, the applicant shall obtain an approved driveway permit and post any required bond with the engineering division prior to the start of construction. 11, the applicant shall contact the assessor's office for an inspection prior to certificate of occupancy.
Could we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I don't know if we should just put in there that the driveway permit will be on Crooked Meadow.
Should what?
It was already,
Crooked Meadow, the driveway permit. It shows it on the plan, I think that's what they're gonna do anyway, but I don't know if it needs to be.
It's existing.
Yeah. Well, I understand, but it's on
Okay.
the plan, so.
Well, that's a question then, was the request for a driveway permit if it was gonna come off of Blacksmith Shop Road?
Right. I think that's-
Right now, we're not proposing anything on Blacksmith Shop.
Okay.
And I think, there's no intent to propose something on Blacksmith Shop. I wouldn't necessarily want to forestall that as an option down the road,
Yeah.
but if that's a condition by the board, then. But right now, any driveway is coming off Crooked Meadow.
Then we should just remove it. He
Should
already
take
has
out
his
number
driveway
10
there, he doesn't
entirely?
need a driveway
Yeah.
permit.
Which one, which condition was that?
10 would still
The
seem,
last one.
It was 10. No.
Was number
Oh, yeah,
10.
number 10. So do we want to strike number 10, since it doesn't?
I would make that motion.
Okay, so we need to vote on John's motion?
I'll second it.
okay, all in favor of John's motion to strike 10?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now let's vote on the main motion.
Okay, that's been seconded?
Yep.
It was seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, you're all set.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time tonight.
Get out
Okay,
into that cool evening air.
thank you.
Good luck.
Open the windows. I don't know how to run the air conditioner.
And now, we have a public meeting, a public hearing for Stephen Marsh, and I guess that's what you're here for. Definitive plan application to create a 3-lot subdivision at 0 Old Barnstable Road. Seeks to create 1 buildable lot and 2 unbuildable parcels at 0 Old Barnstable Road in East Falmouth. Total area of land to be subdivided is 9.76 acres, of which only 1.12 acres are proposed to be developed. The remaining land will be considered unbuildable. The indication from the applicant was that it would be permanently protected from development through a legal instrument. This new lot will have frontage on an extension of Catawba Lane, a way created under subdivision control back in 1988. And who do we have speaking for this?
Steve Marsh, I am the applicant,
Oh, okay.
and I'll probably need some help getting this thing.
Yes, and let me think where we can get that help.
Do you have the plan, are they there?
There,
Are they desktop? Let me take a look.
yeah, thank you.
I can always go to the GIS map and work through that if we don't have. It should be saved.
Yeah, I feel something now, John.
It's only 80.
No, I don't see him.
It's okay.
It's 80?
80.
Do you have a
I don't know
proposed
how to put the AC on. I turned the fan on.
Okay.
Brought a full set.
You don't have a thumb drive with anything on it?
If it gets too cold, let me know.
You hope.
I don't have it here. It doesn't seem to be anything saved on the desktop.
I think if you go to the town website and find the agenda and click on the agenda item,
Okay.
Oh.
It's Falmouth, Maine.
Nope.
If you go up.
Look, I didn't see agenda.
can you
Oh,
get,
no, click on it. Click on the planning board official website.
yeah,
Well, I thought that's
Yeah,
what I was
try that.
looking at.
Then
okay, and the agenda should be there.
go current projects probably.
Bottom corner.
What's that?
Bottom of the blue bar on the left.
Bottom left.
Bottom left,
Yep. Agenda.
minutes and agendas, okay. And agenda items. I've got the URL if you want it. Okay. What is it? I could click on that, would be great, but,
So, W, just go to your browser. Let's get out of this Falmouth thing and go right to, open up a new window,
town of Falmouth,
right there, on that plus
Right
sign,
here.
right there. Yeah, there you go.
okay.
www.
Make-
Dot Falmouth, dot Falmouth, Mass. Dot gov, Falmouth.
Is it MA, Falmouth?
Falmouth, MA, dot gov, /1327. 1327,
Is that right?
1327.
27. That should do it.
No, / applications currently under review, it's there. Just go to the
There it
end.
is.
Hit right arrow,
Enter.
right arrow, right arrow, hit enter.
Clinton, yeah, here we go.
Right here, open this one,
That one?
double click.
Be down the bottom. Here we go.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
They're
I
using,
guess, if you'd like, I'll start over.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, I'm Steve
oh, I
Marsh.
remember this now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was confused, I
Okay,
remember
so
this.
we're back in session, let's, go
I'm
ahead.
Steve Marsh, I'm the applicant for the subdivision, which is technically off of 0 Old Barnstable Road, but I'm requesting the access through Catawba Lane. I was in here in December for a preliminary, which was approved, and I was giving some marching orders to do some work with regard to all of the zones, specialty zones that I was in. I think I've addressed all of the issues with regard to the subdivision. So I had left, and I think the way I understood it is I had to show the 3-lot subdivision, but I was only proposing 1 house lot on this entire parcel, which if you look on there now, that shows the 3 lots. And this is what we're proposing. So parcel A and parcel B will be held in a conservation restriction in perpetuity. There's a 150-foot behind the house on Lot 2 that shows the limit of work. So it's a really small building envelope. So as I had stated at the previous meeting, I'm only proposing 1 house, even though I think I was required to show subdivision for 3 lots. But we're only doing 1. And
Yeah, could you just hold right there?
Yep. So this will be protected in perpetuity. We're putting a conservation restriction on it, putting a conservation restriction on parcel B. This is a 150-foot wildlife corridor that we had to deal with. And then this is the only building area here. It's 1 house. That's it.
Okay.
It's pretty simple.
Could you please talk about the T turnaround that you've described, you've drawn there?
Yes, okay, so this is the cul-de-sac, which we're required to show. And what we're proposing is a T a turnaround, so that way for the fire trucks to be able to use it and not construct the cul-de-sac. So it's basically a long driveway, or
How
driveway.
long is that driveway?
Well, to here, the driveway itself is pretty long, because I'm gonna push the house towards the back. But this here is approximately, I wanna say it's like 200 feet.
And at the bottom, where there's the line, where does your land start?
Right here.
right there.
Yes,
So the extension to Catawba Lane begins there,
and stops right here.
and how long is the extension?
It's about 200 feet, I believe.
The extension's 200 feet?
No, I did,
That little T intersection thing?
let me see if I can make that bigger. No, I take that back, it's 140 feet at its fullest. See it right there?
Is there anything else you wish to explain about that before we open this up for public comment?
No, because I'm sure, no, I'm just, no, there's nothing else I can really say, it's pretty self-explanatory.
It is.
Yeah.
And before we begin public comment, I'd like to just remind people, you've probably heard before, that the legality of the road is not under the purview of the planning department. It's just not something we can deal with, just so you know that. That's a land court thing, it's not our thing. So, anyone?
Yeah, the only other thing that I would add is that I spoke with most, well, let me rephrase that. I was sent a proposal to do some work in the Catawba Lane and that subdivision. And I've agreed to everything, subject to me coming to the planning board. So that's, I'm willing to do everything that was on that list.
Well, let's give people a
So,
chance to say
sure.
what they wish to say.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
If you wish to speak, please come forward one at a time and give your name and what it is you're trying to say.
Good evening, I'm Ron Reif. I'm owner on Catawba Lane, 14 Catawba Lane. I'd just like to, I prepared a presentation and I can give you a copy. I don't have slides. I just have bullets I'd just like to read to you. And I heard everything that you said.
It's okay, go
So-
ahead.
With all respect to you and the board, I would just like to read some bullets to you if I may.
Please do.
And I can elaborate on any one of these, and I can also provide objective evidence as well. Is there a member of the planning board that is a friend of Steve Marsh? At the November preliminary review, there was someone and they recused themselves. Is there anyone here that's a friend of Steve Marsh?
What date was it?
Oh, I wonder if it was, Mr. Marsh?
Yes, I knew Pam Barrett.
And she's not here tonight.
That's fine.
But I do know her, I wouldn't say that she's my friend, but I do
No, I
know her.
recall, and she said that
Okay.
she knew you slightly.
That's
Uh,
correct.
Right.
I'm ready to move on. I just want to avoid a conflict of interest. So at the November 2023 preliminary plan review, Steve Marsh proposed a three-house subdivision at 0 Old Barnstable Road, which we're showing, with access via Catawba Lane. Steve Marsh has never requested permission from the Catawba Lane landowners. Instead, he's tried to bully his way through the plan process and by repeatedly threatening lawsuits. Though I haven't heard threat of lawsuits from him lately. Catawba Lane is a private way. This has been confirmed by 3 attorneys, 2 paid by me and 1 paid by the 300 committee. After meeting resistance at the preliminary plan review, Steve Marsh offered to build 1 house, make some modest neighborhood improvements, including a dry well repair and pothole repair, and to not develop the remaining 8 acres. Basically, a conservation restriction would be put on that remaining land. The 300 committee offered to help Steve Marsh put the 8 acres under conservation restriction. According to Jessica Rittenauer, he has not reached out to them. So I don't know how he's going to get a conservation restriction unless he works with the 300 committee. They are the gold standard for conservation restriction. Steve Marsh has refused to revise his plans to show the intent to build only 1 house. For example, Site Plan S1 of the definitive plan shows road stubs going to parcels A and B, in addition to the road going to the middle lot. It also shows perk test pit locations. This shows intent for future development. Intent for future development on planning documents clears the way for future development. These items need to be removed from the plan. I spoke to Jed Cormack?
Cornock.
Excuse me. And he said there's no reason the road stubs or the perk test pit locations need to be on this document. And I communicated that to Steve Marsh in writing. The proposed Catawba Lane extension goes through the existing Catawba Lane circle. It's not a road stub, it's a circle. It's been a circle. I've been there for 23 years, and there's neighbors here that have been there longer. It's always been a circle. There's no road stub, it's a cul-de-sac. I also planted many trees on that circle, and Carol Hare is not here. She's our neighbor at 15 Catawba Lane, and she said, I do not want those trees on the circle destroyed. They give us privacy. So according to his drawings, he's gonna be going through that. I've never heard from him a commitment that he won't go through the circle. He could, like go around it and then make his road. He wants to go through it, and that is unacceptable. It's also gonna create problems with large vehicles such as trash trucks right now they have a problem going around the circle. If he cuts through it as his drawings describe, there's gonna be big problems with large trucks navigating around the Catawba Lane circle. This is unacceptable. Steve Marsh is also unwilling to make neighborhood improvements, as he has not signed the conditions for access document, which details what we asked him to do. These are very modest improvements. In fact, we've already made some of them ourselves, basically filling some potholes. Steve Marsh has not produced objective legal evidence that he has access via Catawba Lane. However, I have objective legal evidence, and I have it with me, and I can read it to the board if the board is interested, and I already made copies to the board at the November preliminary plan review meeting, and I can give you more copies. And I can read a short paragraph from one of the attorneys. Going back through land court decisions earlier than what he said in 1980s, earlier than that, there is no access. All Steve Marsh has done is threaten to sue Catawba Lane landowners, and I heard him at the preliminary meeting threaten to sue the town of Falmouth. Steve Marsh is an off-Cape real estate developer, and he doesn't own this land. To sue us, he'd need to buy the land, become a plaintiff, file a lawsuit, and then roll the dice. The owner of the parcel is Eleanor Colley, who lives in Canyon Lake, Texas. About 15 years ago, she approached me to build an 8-house subdivision and offered to repave the entire Catawba Lane circle. I said no, and she dropped it. She didn't threaten to sue me, she just dropped it. The 300 committee wanted to buy the land, put a parking lot off the Catawba Lane circle, and make trails. And we said no, we objected to the parking lot. They dropped it. Why does an off-Cape real estate developer who doesn't own the land have legal access? Because he simply files a definitive plan? I don't think so. Because he threatens to sue us? I don't think so. The 4 Catawba Lane landowners have told Steve Marsh in writing that he does not have access or our permission. I have lawfully filed a no trespass order against Steve Marsh, and is with Falmouth Police Department. Item 7 of the preliminary plan decision, signed by Steve Cormack, addressed to the board, states Steve Marsh should work with the abutters to resolve legal access rights over Catawba Lane prior to filing a definitive plan. Steve Marsh has not done this. I have the letter from Steve Cormack to the board. And this is verbatim. The applicant should work with the abutters to resolve legal access rights over Catawba Lane prior to filing a definitive plan. This has not been done.
Madam Chair?
That's all I have, unless
I
questions for me.
have a
Thank you.
problem continuing without Jed here. Is there any way this could be continued?
I think in all likelihood will be continued.
Because
But I
we're-
thought considering so many people have taken their time to come here, that they might wish an opportunity to say what they came to say. I don't
Well,
want
I
to.
think we'll be hearing it all again, but if that's okay, I think we're gonna have to revisit all this when Jed Cormack is here, and that sounds like we need to hear what he's hearing from the town, whether he has legal access or not.
Our last
We're
meeting
we're
for this
okay
is
with you.
October
We are all
29th.
set, thank you.
We have time.
Plenty
There-
of,
We should put this off with it, because we don't have
There
any
is
staff at all.
Plenty of time.
I'm not opposed to that, and
I
to
just wanna
continue
have the
this,
right-
but just, if I could just respond to a couple of things. The owner
Would
of
you
the
please
property-
wait? This isn't what we're doing right this minute.
Oh, okay. So I'm okay with an extension.
And that's what will happen.
Yeah.
But I think out of courtesy to the abutters, that we ought to give them a chance to say what they've come to say. So
So-
please,
They might have to come back again.
they can come back if they wish to.
Okay?
May I speak?
Yes, please.
Hi, my name is Ananta Macedo. I'm one of the originals in the neighborhood, and, excuse me,
Excuse me, I didn't hear your name.
Ananta Macedo.
Ah,
In order for this all to happen, he would have to cross into our private community, neighborhood, before he even gets to Catawba. He'd have to go down my street. And I don't want, we have a nice, quiet community, and I don't trust with this gentleman with all the houses that he's originally said that he was gonna build, or at all, and I would not approve any access to our neighborhood. If I had my choice, I would not let any of them in. Okay,
okay.
thanks.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak?
Hello, my name's Kurt Raber, and I live on Monhegan Road, and my property is at the end of Catawba.
I thought you looked familiar.
And I've been here many times. I'll just kind of echo some of the things that my neighbors have said already or are feeling. We're just a little suspect because this subdivision plan, we're told, is going to evolve and get better, but it still has a 240-foot diameter cul-de-sac with lots with over 200 feet of frontage. And the test pits were done without permission on 3 lots. We just feel like this plan in this cul-de-sac layout they're trying to get one by the goalie here, and press and legally try to exhaust whatever it takes to get 3 houses here. And as you can tell, a good number of the neighbors are out and very concerned. So I'm sure this will take a while. We'll be back next time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak? Now, sir, if you
No.
want.
Just, I'm only proposing one house. That's it. Regardless of what you think, that's all we're proposing.
Could you, no,
Yeah.
sir,
Yes.
speak to the board.
Oh, sorry. So I'm only proposing one house. As far as the perk tests were concerned, we've agreed to take those off of the plan. That's not that big of a deal. As far as the owner's here. Their family's owned this property for 140 years. So for them to say that I don't have the right to,
Do you have effective control of the property?
yes, I do, under a
How do you
purchase
have
and,
that control?
purchase and sales agreement.
Thank
So I
you.
do have effective control over it. I'm willing to work with them with regard to this, but I've sent out emails, I've got no response. Rife is the only one that has responded to me. So I am willing to work with them, but if they don't want to work with me, then if I have to go through the course of doing 3 lots, then I will, and that's what I said the last
Could
time.
I ask you a question?
Yes,
What is your access from 0 Barnstable Road?
there is no access. I'd have, a number of years ago, I could just a quick history. This plan was approved back in the 70s. It was never rescinded. They rezoned it.
Doesn't matter, they time out.
Yeah, right, okay, so I guess what I'm proposing is one single house lot, that's all I'm proposing. I'm required to show these things, like the cul-de-sac. We don't plan on building it, it would make no sense to build a cul-de-sac. And we did agree to do the repairs in the road. So I'm willing to work with the abutters for one house. If they don't want to work with me, I'll go through the process, do the 3 lots, and then, and I never said that I would sue anybody. All I said is that if I'm denied, I would appeal. So they can consider that suing, but I'm willing to work with them to do the one house. That's all I'm looking for, is one house lot. We're giving the land, I'm putting in a conservation restriction. I did meet with the 300 people in Not Rittenhour. They have somebody else that's in charge over there. I've spoke to everyone over there, and I told her that I would work with her later on as far as putting that into a conservation restriction. I'm not obligated to, they use what the 300 committee utilizes a conservation restriction that is so restrictive that it could defeat the purposes of what the neighbors want, because people would have access to the property. The 300 committee got this property. Let's say that I don't do anything with it, and the 300 committee gets it, they're probably gonna wanna do trails and things like that in there. What I'm saying is you can prevent any of that with just the one house. That's all I'm proposing, nothing more than that.
Okay,
The
now-
board would have to approve that anyway.
I think I understand your point.
Okay. And that's
Okay.
all.
Board?
Well, John, you want to go first?
I'm just wondering if the items that he's talking about could be part of a decision at some point. He could put it in writing what he's planning on doing.
Right.
I'm also wondering, if he's got a 3-lot subdivision, maybe he can make this an open space subdivision, planned residential development, only 1 lot, and everything else could be deed restricted.
Hey, Bob, did you want to say something?
Yeah, just looking at the summary report, there's like 40 things that mention there doesn't appear, or not all the information, not all the proposed roadway would not meet. I mean, there's a lot of these unmet things that are requirements of,
Do you have a copy of this?
No, I do not.
it's a planning board review that we received.
What's the date on that?
The date, July 8th.
July 8th. No, I never got a copy of that, so if I could get a copy of it, I'll address the issues. You know, this property has been hanging out here for a long time, and I completely understand what the neighbors are doing.
Mr. Marsh?
Yes.
Why don't you take my copy? Because you obviously have work to do
Sounds like it.
and work with the abutters. Any other board comment? In that case, I think what we'll do is we'll continue this another time. And you don't need me to suggest the obvious. You need to work with the people who have a direct
I am
interest
happy to
in
work
this.
with them, but in the event that they don't want to work with me, then I'm just going to propose my plan.
It's our neighborhood, you don't have access.
Okay,
You don't have access to it.
okay, that's what you're saying.
It's our neighborhood.
Okay, so
Just a
I-
moment.
Gavel.
This is not gonna break down.
So I'm at
into-
a stalemate here, right? So all I can do is propose my project to the planning board. That's all I want to do. If the board so elects to.
Well, excuse me, sir, you seem to be organized. Are you willing to serve as a conduit so that he can be in touch with the neighborhood? Yes.
I am willing to serve as a point of contact on behalf of the Pine Meadows neighborhood and the Catawba Lane landowners. I have all the emails. I can reach out to everybody, get their opinion on this. And for the record, I tried to work with Steve Marsh, And,
Let's
and-
try again.
and he was not willing to work with us.
Okay, I don't really want to hear it. Try again,
Madam Chair,
and
I
John.
think Mr. Marsh should put in writing what he's proposing to do. So that if this gets approved, it could be part of our decision. Be the requirements.
willing to do that.
Instead of conversation, let's get it in writing, and then let
do you
these,
have his contact information?
then let him review it, and I'm not trying to negotiate anything here, but I'm tired of the he said, she said, this could be,
Right.
that could be. Let's put it in writing, and then we can, as a board, we can review that.
Okay, we're going to hear from one more person, then we're going to set a continuation date. Yes, sir. Thank you. And thank you.
My name is John Gibson. I represent the Cape Cod Beagle Club, which is the largest landowner, largest private landowner in the town, plus the largest landowner bordering the property. There's one subtle legal point I want to make here, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. If this plan comes in where it lists parcel A and parcel B up there, and it goes through your various restrictions, what you were talking about, after 3 years, a developer would be able to come back and ask for that to be waived. But there is a legal thing, I know the Barnstable Superior Court precedence establishes that if the plan that is submitted actually has for parcel A and parcel B, not that, but it says for conservation purposes only, written in by the applicant, then that eliminates the ability to come back after 3 years and ask for building on that property. And I'm sure you had that in the past, you're aware of that. So I would like to see considered at this point to ask that when this thing comes back in, not listed as parcel A and parcel B, but in both places, the wording for conservation purposes only. So, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Marsh, I hope you heard that.
Yes, and I've discussed that with this gentleman over the phone, and there was some issues, again, just.
You have to come to the podium.
I did discuss this with this gentleman over the phone, and I just had to verify that we could do it through your planning department, if that language is okay to be put on the plan, and we've agreed to do just that, to make sure that it is held in perpetuity.
We're not
to be
agreeing to do
developed.
just anything. We're just trying to move
With
this
them.
process along.
Yes,
Those changes obviously will help. We'll see how that goes.
okay.
We're going to pick a date to continue this too.
I would like to request our town planner to get us a legal opinion about the access to this property. Instead of everyone said, our lawyer said this, they said that. I think we should get some definite from town council whether they have it or not. So we're not arguing about it
Not whether they
anymore.
have access, but whether he has
He has
effective
the
control.
right to do it. I just
Exactly.
need to have a piece of paper and put that to bed, so we're not all throwing this around.
What we're asking for is written assurance of your effective control of this property, not the access.
He's got control with the purchase and sale agreement. I'm asking,
We
No, no.
we would love that,
He-
actually.
That's
They're
not in
not
our
gonna get
purview.
No,
though.
that's-
Jim, yeah, it's not in our purview.
It's not our purview.
It's not in our purview, but
Now we
you
need a
could put
date.
on the plan the deed restriction language that he's proposing. Put it on the plan. I just want to go back and forth with, this could happen, that could happen. Let's see everything in writing, and then these folks can review it, and
I'm
when they
happy
come
to
back,
do
we'll
that
be-
if we can
We'll
get,
be more prepared. They'll be more prepared.
It'll be in writing.
can we get
Okay.
60 days then for, and then what I'll do is I'll propose everything. I'll submit it to the planning board and the abutters for their review, with language just showing the one
60
lot.
days would put you to what date? The
Um,
dates I can suggest to you are August 27th or September 10th.
I'll
Neither
take
is-
September 10th, please.
September 10th.
Yes.
Okay, this is continued till September 10th.
Is September 10th the next meeting?
No.
No,
No,
no, it's not. It's the meeting after. Let's see, it's three,
That's when we get the next submittal?
I think it's 3 meetings from now.
I'm just wondering, what does that take represent?
It's out of control, it's supposed to be.
We're hoping by that date, some of these problems have been ironed out, but the issues will have been put in writing between the two parties, and some things will have been resolved. And we'll have a copy of the
It's a hearing,
minutes.
yes. Next
So it's a
hearing
continuation of the hearing,
for this.
so no decision. Okay, that's it for tonight on that issue. Thank you.
thank you.
The podium?
Lori Raber, and I live at the end of where Catawba comes into Monhegan Road. And as a neighbor and an abutter within this development, I think all of the neighbors, I think there's 29 houses in our neighborhood, I think we all should be informed as to what this plan is, instead of, it's not just affecting Catawba Lane, it's affecting our entire development. So I think everybody should be informed as to what his plans are, because it's wishy-washy, it keeps going back and forth.
Let me describe to you our system for doing that. It's holding public hearings. This is one of them. There'll be another one on September 10th. Nothing will happen in the meantime, as far as we're
Right.
concerned.
I
So
understand
just come
that.
back.
But the paperwork that you're suggesting that he give to the abutters on Catawba Lane, I think that,
I have
and
no
maybe
control
we
over
can get
that.
that from Ron, but I think we all, in that neighborhood, we should all have that same paperwork that he's going to
I
supply them.
can see the need for communication, but cannot arrange for it for you. The
Okay.
communication we have is through public hearings
Okay,
And butters, and the official butters list.
and the official butters list, right?
That's the control.
So that's it for tonight for that. Okay. Thank you. Planning board discussion time. The planning department report will be very brief. It's over. Committee reports. Paul.
Could you
Excuse
please
me.
move your discussion?
Gavel.
That's what you need to do.
Please leave the room. Leave the room. Take your noise out of the room.
That's the hardest swim you've had all
Yeah.
ever. You should use it more, it's the problem.
Noise out of the room. Oh, Catawba Lane.
My God.
All right? Sir,
Because that's the.
We're trying to have a meeting here.
Access to this part.
okay, committee report, Paul.
No report today.
Announcements. General correspondence, we don't have any. Future agenda items, whatever comes in over the transom. The next meeting, August 13th.
I move adjournment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Adjourned.
Oh, we